Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. We are back once again to provide you a recap of this week's Friday Night SmackDown, which took place on December 19th, once again in Hershey, Pennsylvania. We kick off the show with another recap of last weekend's Saturday Night Main Event, aka Cena's last match. This is, of course, another great video that really tugs on those heartstrings and a painful reminder that we are now in the post-Cena era. The first live bit of SmackDown has Damian Priest coming down to the ring, along with the WWE Universe thanks Cena for everything. Damian then says the Terror Twins took care of business last week, but goes on to explain they have bigger and better plans for 2026. But before he can get to those plans, we get cut off by a very maniacal laugh from Zelina Vega. Enter an Aleister ambush from behind, and Priest is able to hold his own for a bit, but Black does end up driving him through a table to stand tall for now, and it appears this rivalry isn't quite over. Notably, no mommy here, so I thought that was an interesting bit as well. The punishment doesn't end there for Priest, though, however, as the officials are helping him to the back, and he is once again attacked by Aleister Black, ends up eating a black mass, and once again, Aleister Black standing tall. So Black seems to stand tall more often than not, so make of that what you will. But like I said, this rivalry seems quite far from over. We then get our first match of the evening, which has Nia Jax and Lash Legend going up against the women's tag team champions, and that of the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. A nice little interview in the back before the match with Lash and Nia. Pretty big fan of their dynamic. I just love the attitude. I love the way they work together. Just I feel like they have something special there with the size of them as well. Should be a pretty dominant force in this division. But getting into the actual match, the match was good enough. Actually sees a clean finish, which I didn't think there was a chance at all, given all the tag teams currently involved in this division. But alas, Nia lands a chokeslam and hits an annihilator on Kairi Sane to get a clean win over the current women's tag team champions. So make of that what you will. Clearly, they are jockeying for position still. And then after the match, Charlexa ends up chasing off Nia and Lash as we continue to jockey for position in this very crowded women's tag division. We then see a pre-recorded bit with Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre, where Nick Aldis travels to Drew McIntyre's home. They go back and forth about kind of the terms in which Drew requires before he returns, because he claims it is an unsafe work environment. The final agreement, which Drew counters with, is that he'll accept the fine. He'll, dish out the apology, but Cody can't touch Drew until he gets his promised WWE Undisputed Championship match against Cody. And if Cody does touch him before said match, then Cody will be stripped of the title. And Nick Aldis does agree to that. So very interesting there. And to end the segment, we see Cody arrive at Drew McIntyre's house, which I thought was great. Ends with telling him, after we get a bit of a brawl there, Cody tells Drew McIntyre to have a Merry Christmas. And so calls him an asshole. I thought that was a great bit. Just all around, I think worked out pretty well. Kind of out of order here a bit, but we did also then see Cody Rhodes in the ring, and we see Nick Aldis join him, who was unhappy with the situation that he was put in, the terms he had to agree with for McIntyre to return. Cody reminds Nick who he is, the man who took down the Tribal Chief and the GOAT, John Cena, and that he is QB1. Cody tells Aldis that he doesn't work for him, he works for the WWE Universe, and that Aldis works for Cody Rhodes. So, two interesting promos there. I definitely preferred the pre-recorded one, but both work well for what they are trying to accomplish. And perhaps we get that match maybe at Royal Rumble. Who knows? But getting into the next match, we see Alba Fire with U.S. champion Chelsea Green going up against Julia with Kiana James. We see in a backstage interview earlier that Julia wants that U.S. championship back, but before she does get that opportunity, she first has to go through Alba Fire. Of course, she does pretty handedly. Not quite a squash match, but Julia, this is her first match since losing her U.S. championship to Green. So she takes out Alba pretty quickly here and then stares down Chelsea Green as she kind of retreats and stumbles over herself as she makes her way to the back. Getting into the rest of SmackDown, our next match of the night has Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's DIY with Candice LeRae going up against Carmelo Hayes and our U.S. champion Ilya Dragunov. Of course, this is a great match of the night for me, easily. Candice is heavily utilized here, but in the end, still wasn't quite enough to allow Johnny and Tommaso to get the win. And Carmelo Hayes ends up hitting a first 48 to get the win on Ciampa here. And a week off, kind of, for Ilya. He'll go back to his U.S. Open Challenge next week. We then get into our main event, which has Tonga Loa and JC Mateo of MFT going up against Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis of the Wyatt Six for those WWE Tag Team Championship. Yeah, this match is okay. Clearly, this match is all about the bigger picture, and that is clearly the feud between the Wyatt Six and the MFT. And yeah, just absolute chaos. Every single member of both teams, the Nikki Bomb as well. I thought that was a great bit as well. But yeah, clearly no team really getting the advantage here. Pretty evenly matched even before and after the match officially ends. And safe to say, this feud also is far from over. So with that, SmackDown in the books, and a decent episode of SmackDown. I think a couple tag matches here at the end were good enough, and then the undisputed WWE Championship feud there, continuing with Cody and Drew McIntyre, I thought were the highlights for me. Women's tag division still continuing to cook as well. So lots of decent bits here. Definitely not the best episode of SmackDown, but I think that typically tends to be the case when you get these double recordings. I think they recorded Raw and SmackDown last Monday. So yeah, make it that what you will. But I think overall, I'd probably give this a 7 out of 10. Not a terrible show, not a great show either. I think we just have one more SmackDown that's also being pre-recorded, and then we will be back to the 3-hour SmackDown. So better mixed reactions around that. But for now, one of our last few 2 hours while we continue to make that transition back. So, what did you all think of SmackDown? Please let us know in the comments below your highlights, what you liked about it, what you didn't. And we'll be back shortly with another recap of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown while we continue to work through this kind of lull period before the next PLE, which, of course, will be the Royal Rumble. And in the meantime, we'll continue to work on those WrestleMania videos as well. But for now, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.